Hello and welcome to this series of videos. Today we're looking at finding a photography camera for under 600. I've put it as a numerical value as you can put your currency in there. I've done some digging around. I've found some good options for you. So let's have a look at it. What would I buy would be how I'm going to look at it. So I'm going to give you 4 options at that price range. I'm going to show you the listings on eBay. Canon T6, which is also known as, whoa, is it the T6? I get confused with these American version names, but the T6 is normally known as, oh, I did a whole video about these, the name differences, which I'll link in the chapters. But the ones I'm looking at are, let me bring them up here, 750D, which is a UK name for it, and I'm comparing that versus the 800D, because they're similar models. We'll see what the slight difference is in that model if you go up one. I've got the 1300D, and then I've put a Nikon in there, which is a 5600, Nikon D5600. But I've just come across and I've seen a 250D, which is the SL3, SL2. So I might check that one out as well, because that's exactly on our budget. So let me put that in the comparison, because I did not put that as an option. And I think if you're currently looking in the price ranges, that will come up. So let me bring that up. Okay, so now we have the comparison up. The T6 is going to be a compact SLR camera. It's got 18 megapixels and it's come out in 2016. And let's have a look, because the main difference in the T models is going to be, okay, no articulating screen is a fixed screen on the T6. So that makes me think it's going to be the 1300. That's the normal name for it, possibly. Yeah, because the T6i and the T7i is the 750 and the 800D. Okay, I think I've worked out them. It's so confusing, the names. But okay, let's have a look, because the main differences you can tell in these are, okay, so the T6 is a 1300D. It's 3 frames a second if you do continuous burst, like fast photography. And I'm going to give you a quick glance at video, because I know when we do photography, we're probably going to make videos at some point about photography. And this first 1300D offers you 30 frames a second, 1920 and 1080. So because 600 is quite a healthy budget, you know what, we're going to knock that camera off straight away, because I don't want 1080p at 30 frames a second. We want to at least have 60 if we're paying 600 odd pounds. So that's off the list. The next one is a T6i, which is known as a 750D, and that was the one we saw, which looked like a good deal. Here it is. Let me have a look at it and explain it to you for the podcast. So it's an EOS 750D with an 18 to 135 lens kit, and it's brand new, so it's very good condition. Basically, it looks like it's wrapped up there, which is very interesting. But yeah, we'll use it as a guide price. So why is it brand new? Never opened, still has security tags, can't post within the UK. Well, yeah, my first question is why did you buy it and why is it still cased? Because you're selling it on eBay. Yeah, okay, that's a whole new thing there, but we've made a separate video about how to be safe when buying off eBay, so I'll link that in the cards. Make sure to check that video out. So the 750D at £600, good option, good starter. What does it offer? 24 megapixel sensor and articulating screen, so you've got the flippy screen, so if you're doing videos, that'll be handy. 3-inch display, and I'm going to cover these overall 5 frames a second, so reasonably good. 1080p at 30 frames a second. I would expect 60. Does it not do 60? Okay, so that, for that kind of money, because there's some additional options here which I saw which are good, we'll take that 750 off the list. But let's have a look at the 800D, which is a model above it. And I think the 800 should have, let me show you this one. So the EOS 800D with the EFS 18 to 55 lens, which has image stabilization, so good for camera work, like as in stabilized footage. It comes with a camera bag also. So that's £600, which is exactly on our budget with a lens. And okay, I was expecting a couple of lines from the seller, but no, nothing there. So let's have a look at the specs of that one. So what do we get? 2017 it was made in. It's a mid-size SLR camera with 24 megapixels. It's a Digic 7 processor. So the Digic processor is basically how well it handles things like autofocus, high ISO performance. I did a video about what digit processors are, so I might link it, but that's your overview of it. Is how while it handles the photo when it's taken or after it's taken in the camera. Takes raw photos, yes, great. It's a 1.6 screen, fully articulating screen, and I'm hoping we get 1080p at, yay, 60 frames a second. So the difference there for those interested, 750D didn't have 60 frames a second in 1080p, but the 800D does. So that's where your slight difference in model variations come in. And what else? I'm sure it's got something like a Wi-Fi or something built in. Wireless built in, yeah. So that depends how you use your camera. I normally take the memory card out and put it in my computer, but you might not do that. You might do it a different way where you convert it on Wi-Fi through to your phone if you use your phone solely for that purpose. So that's a good option. I'm going to keep that on the list as a contender. Let's get rid of the other ones. 750 we're getting rid of. We're keeping the 800D on that list. So if you've got between that price range, that's a good camera to think about. Let's have a look at Nikon. So Nikon 5600, 2016, slightly older camera. Let's bring that up so you can see or hear me explain it to you. So 5600, saying great price on eBay, so that makes me think it's priced well. £579, so you've got some change to pick up a memory card as well. Fully articulating screen. That's comparable to the 800D, I would say. But we'll check the specs and I'll let you know if it actually is or not. So what else do we get? Oh, okay, so from Curry's PC World, so it's actually going to be like a X display possibly or something like that. So let's go to the side-by-side comparison. That one versus, it's a slightly older camera, but again, it has the similar megapixels. It has fully articulating screen. Does it have, it's got pop-up flash, which is an extra little benefit. Not a great thing to use, but it's good. It's slightly lower frames per second than the 800D. So if you're doing continuous shooting, in 1 second you'll get 5 pictures, whereas the 800D would give you 6. It does 1080p at 60 frames a second. So good option, but it's slightly cheaper as well. So think about that. And then we've got the SL3, which is going to be the 250D. This one here, which is £579. These are getting quite good feedback online. So the smaller bodied cameras, it actually will offer you 4K recording as well, probably at 24 frames a second, I think. Let's have a look. Side by side comparison. SL3, what sensor is it? It's going to be a newer camera, so let's check. It's been 2019, a lot newer. That is a very good price then to get it at £600 UK anyway. Wait, did I even open it up? I did. Well, not even 600, £579. Does it come with a lens? It does come with a lens. Great option there. So we've got a nice selection of cameras there that you could look at. 3 options I would suggest is the 800D, the Nikon D5600, which is slightly cheaper, so you got a bit of change for memory cards, and also the EOS SL3, known as a 250D. So any one of those 3 cameras would be good. If I was going to pick, I would probably blow up EOS SL3, the 250D. It's a newer camera, and let me check, it has 4K recording at 24 frames a second, as well as 1080p 60 frames a second. So that's the camera I would buy, which is right there. So that was a quick look at the budgets. I've got a playlist set up here for you to look at the different budgets. If you've got a bit more money or a bit less money, make sure to check them out. You'll find them useful if you're in the journey of finding a photography camera. See you on the next budget video.